Ready? All right. Good morning. Let's get it rolling on a Wednesday, August 11th. Anybody have kids that started school today? Anybody go, that was a few years ago when I had kids start school again? All right. Well, it's that time. Why did they start school August 11th? It's not even, summer's not even over yet. Getting started. Anyways.
Extra week because there's another snowmageddon or.
Stop it. There's not going to be one of those. Who knows a little bit. All right. We got a great morning planned for you as well. Thank you for everyone who's joining us online. Thank you for one showing up and give us some energy. Why don't we get some energy going, right? We can call it bucket fills. You can call us, tell us something good. Share something great with us this morning. Who's on? Let's go. Share something good. Oh man, your guys' energy and enthusiasm today is just contagious. Come on. Who's got it? We got a great interview today. Kathy Stubbs coming by. Anybody online? Cynthia, something good to share?
All right. Good morning, everyone. I have a closing coming up on
Come
Monday.
on, give me something good. I know you got something
My
exciting.
kids.
No,
This doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, we're fancy here. My kids did start school today.
And that's exciting.
That
Okay,
is something
great.
good, okay?
What grades? What grades?
They are in 3rd and 2nd grade.
3rd and 2nd grade. All right. Cool. Anybody else?
Jade does. Jade has something. She has 3 weeks left to have her baby. Oh.
6. Why are you speeding it up?
You never know. There might be 3.
I didn't even know you were pregnant and you're down to 6 weeks. Okay, great.
What are you trying to say, Chad? What are you trying to say?
Awesome. Anybody else online? Yeah. Tell us your name.
Hi, my name is Carl. I just learned how to share the Cal app with people today. That was exciting.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, welcome aboard. Good to have you. Absolutely. That works. The mesh showed you or Norman? Oh, Barbara. Oh, yeah. Barbara is the smartest. Barbara is the smartest person in the room, in the office, just so you know. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. What do you got? What do you got? Anybody? Anybody else? It could be personal too.
I just met Carl and he's going to teach.
Hold on. We couldn't hear you. Go ahead. That's just so they can hear online.
Okay. I just met Carl today and he's going to show me how to do the app too.
Okay. Awesome.
We
Good
love
work.
to collaborate here at
Okay,
Keller
great.
Williams Southwest.
Hi, my name is Maria. I'm going vacation next
Where
week.
you going?
Woo!
Where you going?
South Padre.
Okay, great. Good spot. Any vacation's a great spot right now. Okay, awesome. Well, let's jump into the meeting. I do have an interview that's set up with Kathy Stubbs and talking about business and challenges and the way that she thinks about it. It'll be fantastic. But before we do, we got some people are going to share a few things once Norman gets the slide going. We got a busy August, meaning we got a lot of great events coming up. If you haven't heard about it, it means you don't pay attention to anything that we send out or listen to me. I understand not listening to me, but we could do it. The one big thing that we have is we have a Sienna Bus Tour. That means on Friday, the bus is going to pick up here by Johnson Development. They're going to send it to Sienna, give you an overview, give you lunch. It'll be a great day packed with great information. At this point, the bus is full. If you did sign up, we ask you, please be committed because now we're turning people away.
You should
Okay.
be getting some text messages from me and the crew confirming your seat. If you don't get something, let me know. This is Verna, by the way. And then also, if you're not able to go, let us know. I will start a like a spillover. Yeah.
Wait list. Okay.
A wait list.
Then also we have a great night at the Skeeters. We have partnered with Skeeter with some advertising. And so Audra O'Neill, who is our #1 agent at this time, she's real close with the B&P team on gross commission income. She's going to throw out the first pitch. And then also we have that as well. So if you signed up, I think we have 200 people that have committed with that in their family. It'll be a great night. If you still say, hey, I missed that, I don't know where you were. But if you really need it, you can go bug Greg. That's that guy right there
This
standing
guy
next to
right here.
Verna. But you all, yeah.
Only 10 tickets left.
So let us know. Okay. See him and he'll
Only
get
6
you
tickets
committed
left.
and he's going to be emailing those. If you do have a ticket, we're gonna, we have a shirt for you that's red. It's soft, yes. And we're gonna ask you to wear those night so we represent and have a great Keller Williams fun night as well for the Skeeters, okay? Oh, first pitch, if the game starts at 6:05, the first pitch with Audra, I would tell you be about 5:40, 5:45, be there as well. If you did do a ticket, please committed to being there. We're not charging you for that ticket. So we ask you, please honor that. Okay,
Doesn't
keep
mean we
going.
didn't pay for it.
Keep going, Norman. What's next?
How do we pick up our shirts?
Come by the office. They're gonna be
Great
at the
question.
front desk. They'll be at the front desk of the office. Great question. Okay, keep going. Anything else you want to add?
I'll add one little thing that just take 2 seconds. All right, so if you guys haven't updated your HAR app recently, they did have a major update last week. And what it's doing now is it actually shows you the coming soon listings now on the map. All right, I don't know why they chose this color, but the color designating it is like a lime green. So it's really close to the active listing color, but it is there nevertheless. Okay, so now you can see the coming soon listings also on the app map. Okay, on your HAR.
Okay,
That's what I got.
cool, good. So you have the slide for the mega agent camp? Okay, very good. All right. Mega agent camp. We did have a special invite for in-person only. As of last Friday, they did cancel the in-person event just because of Austin being a hot spot and a rise of COVID. So at this point, you can tune in and watch it virtually, right? That's a ticket. It's $119 for the virtual ticket. Is that right? Yes. It's going to be packed full with anything. Yet on the opening day of Mega Agent Camp, which is August 24th, we have reserved a movie theater, right? That we're going to do it. We're going to partner with Keller Williams Signature and Katie. We're going to rent out 2 theaters, so there'll be plenty of space. And we're just going to watch the vision speech and a couple other things together. That's on the 24th at 9:30. That's at the Star Cinema Grill, which is in Richmond. The address and everything will be sent out to you. It's kind of a good halfway between here and Katy. For my people in Missouri City, I'm sorry. We're going to come over to this side of the world. It won't hurt you, I promise. Everything works just fine on Richmond side of town. And yet come join us for that day as well. And then we'll also have some breakout sessions that are breakouts, meaning at virtually, and the way they go, it's going to be packed full with great top producers, Gary Sharon Vision, just kind of where the industry is going. If you pay for the virtual ticket, please, you'll have access to all that content. You can go back and watch it, I think, for at least 90 days. So it's really cool and a good thing. So we want you to be involved with that as well. Okay. What else do we have? I got Kathy coming. Kathy's running late, kind of like a top producer, right? To get them to come. She goes, I won't be there exactly at 11. I said, well, at least by 11:15. All right, before we get started. Oh, I got it. I got it. You know, I come prepared. Okay, here we go. Anybody like John Maxwell? John, he's written about, oh yeah, did you have a slide for Nikki?
He did, but he usually fast forward.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Because you were just
Oh,
going.
Nikki, so
Norman.
I had you. Yeah, it's there. Back it up. Back it up one more. There.
there it is. Did Greg doesn't have anything, does he?
You took it.
Yeah.
It's my job. Okay, go.
They almost forgot about me. I mean, I'll remember.
Almost. We didn't though.
She didn't let us.
Yeah.
No, because we're getting a lot of questions. So my name is Nikki. I'm the productivity coach. Whoever needs me anytime, I'm always here and available along with the other leadership. Welcome to new faces. We have a transfer here, Sabrina. I want to welcome her.
Welcome, welcome.
And we're getting a lot of questions about a role play class about listings. We're going to go over how to approach the objections that we're getting lately. And it's going to be on the 17th at 1 p.m. Jade volunteered along with me to play the sellers. So you guys are going to be listing agents and we're going to go over everything. Another class we're getting a lot of questions on is how to use Vulcan 7. It's mainly for PC agents, but that's going to be on the 26th at 10 a.m. please try to come in person, as it's going to be a little easier to show you how the system work. As online, it gets kind of tricky. We're trying to accommodate the Zoom people, absolutely. Although in person, it's going to be a little easier. So Jade will actually help you hands-on to figure it out. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, great. And Greg didn't have anything. I took it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's what happens. All right, John Mac, thank you, Nikki. Everybody good? Everybody say great, Nikki. Yay. Awesome. In Maxwell, he's written hundreds of books, right? And it's all in leadership. He's a great person to study. And here he's talking about just qualities of a leader. Do you see yourself as a leader, right? Are you just a follower? Are you an influencer who makes an impact on other? And in the book, they're talked about charisma, but they talk about two leaders that were in Great Britain's government, right? And the title of this is called The Cleverest in England. And so these two men, well accomplished, a young lady has the opportunity to have dinner with them on back-to-back nights. So she sits down there individually with two leaders, right? And back-to-back nights, and they go, give us your impression of these two leaders. And after that, when asked her impression of them, she said, when I left the dining room after sitting next to Mr. Gladstone, I thought he was the cleverest man in England. But after sitting next to Mr. Driscoll, I thought I was the cleverest woman in England. Do you hear the difference? So as a real estate professional, how do you show up and be the second leader? How do you show up and use your marketing and your value approach to let other people, right, feel significance and importance? Not to say if you show up and you tell how everybody you're great you are, you could still be effective, but how do you be that second leader? How do you be one that should make sure everyone else feels significant? On a listing presentation, the simplest way to do that is how? How do you be the second leader on a listing presentation? You ask questions, right? You start off as you do more asking than you do telling. So if you show up to a presentation and you go as, man, I did a lot of talking, you're showing everybody how smart you are. If you show up and they do a lot of talking and you question and go deep and you probe and you find motivation, right? You get them what their perspective is, you're going to be the second leader. Have you ever had an accounting where you went with a dinner and you asked somebody a whole bunch of questions? At the end, they did all the talking and they go, man, this is great. I really feel like we're close and we're connected. And you go, you didn't ask me one question. And you're like, and that's cool, right? Because you want to hear everything is about them. Because if you're at a meeting, right, and you want to be the second leader and they want to tell you about dogs, that the reason I need this property because we have dogs, and you go, oh, I got dogs too. What kind of dogs you have? Oh, I have this dog, and I've always had dogs. And you go, there you are. You're showing up, telling them how important you are. You know, let the other person feel they're significant and important. And when, this Kathy sending me a text, she's running a little bit late, so we're gonna pivot too at the same time. No, we got plenty of things to talk about. So the second leader too is ask questions. When you have Kathy in here, right? If she shows up to a listing presentation, she's gonna quickly get to their motivation as fast. Most of the time, they don't even have to pull out a presentation. Now, you better be prepared and have the presentation over time. Okay, awesome. All right, Nimesh, I'm going to put you on the spot. A few weeks ago, Nimesh did a team leader on Keller Offers. Team meeting. How many were there at the Keller Offers? Okay, cool. And yet I still get, you got to come up here next to me. I had my vaccine, so I had a shot. So tell us a little bit, just give us a real recap, because I think there's still a lot of confusion out there. What is Keller Offers? And to me, it's another tool in your arsenal. Dave had a great time with it, right? Great tool. Client didn't necessarily appreciate it as much as we thought he would. Yes. Okay. So to give us a little overview on Keller Offers, because it keeps coming up again.
Okay. All right. Well, Keller Offers is our iBuyer program, right? Keller Williams' own iBuyer program. What's an iBuyer program? It's essentially an investment group that comes in to essentially buy a house at below market value right? So they can in turn turn around and sell it at market or above market value and make some money. Okay. But what makes us different from every other iBuyer out there? What makes us different is us. Okay. Because in our iBuyer program, we still represent our seller. Okay. And first and foremost, though, we can utilize it, like Chad said, as a tool in our tool belt to get in the door. Okay. Because if you have somebody that's on the fence and it's like, this, giving you objections on selling, you can simply just ask them, hey, would you like for me to request a quote? See how much I can get you, get a quote for your house that we can sell with for cash. You don't have to go on the market. You don't have to open house. You don't have to stage. You don't have to do anything. What's the likelihood they're going to say no on that? There's no strings attached. There's no money involved. It's simply signing a waiver saying, hey, yes, I'm allowing you to submit my information so we can get an offer back. That's all it is. Now, do you think that that's not going to get you a yes on that? Who's going to say no to that? Except your friend. No, I'm just kidding.
Just had a listing appointment and I just went through the training so that I can do that myself now. And what it is actually I was able to control the motivation.
Yeah. Right. And most of the time, the motivation, the financial factor is always going to come out on, not always, but most of the time going to come out on top. Why do people go with iBuyers? They go with iBuyers for the convenience, right? It's typically convenience or time. But what usually wins out? Finance usually always wins out, right? Who doesn't want more money? And typically you're going to get more money when you're on the market. But you're there in our program, you're there in front of your seller to help guide them make that decision.
What's the word we call that? Fiduciary. There's a difference when you look at OfferPad or you look at Zillow. That's a functionary, right? They can go right there. They're gobbling up property right now. This is a reality of the space that we're in. This is why we're telling you about it. So you not only just need to get there, you need to get there first. You need to be telling your database, do not make any decisions with real estate without visiting with me first, because I will be your fiduciary. I will walk you through this and make sure you put the best interest. Because the reality is you can make an offer and somebody goes, that's a great value. And they have no idea if they were to put it on the market, what they could actually get.
Speaking of value, Nikki just did the contract to close class and they were working on CMA. So unlike places like OfferPad or Zillow, another thing that our Keller Offers does is to help with getting and raising your value by providing you with an opportunity to make the renovations, right? Make the
Yes.
remote.
So
Tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So that's a newer addition to the Keller Offers system. And that is where your client still wants to sell on the market through you, but yet there's an opportunity for them to improve their house to get better value. Well, Keller Offers can come in there and do all the the design, the renovation, the upfront cost for the seller. And then they get paid out at closing. Okay. And it can go beyond that if you need to. It gets into the weeds about 0% interest loan and stuff like that if you need, etc. But the premise of it is that there's no cost to it up front, and the program gets paid at closing. Okay. And so, your seller comes out on top. And so that's definitely an option as well. Both of them are through the same portal, and I highly implore you to be certified in both of those, because guess what? It costs nothing now to the agent to be certified. Okay. There's 2 ways to do it. They have live sessions that are 2 hours long, about once a month. Okay. And the live sessions are on like a Zoom style. Okay. The other way is if you want to do it today or tomorrow, there's a series of videos you can watch. And once you watch the videos and you come through the last one, it certifies you. Okay. So there should be no excuse on why not to be certified as a Keller Offers agent. Why am I scared to ask you?
Cynthia.
Do you have to recertify every year?
No, you do not. Once you're certified, you're certified.
So you just went through the process, right, Dave? You did it a class or you did it just online?
20 minutes left for the ready to sell program.
Okay.
Although I did pitch it anyway.
Okay. So he's motivated to get it as a tool. Does that make sense? Okay, here's let me give you a reason why this is so important and the tools. Keller Williams did not want to get in the the iBuyer program. Yet we wanted to make sure that agents were driving this. You had the tools that you needed to be competitive, right? It's kind of like Keller Mortgage. We could talk more about that at the same time. We kind of like Keller Covered, which is an insurance. So these pieces are just tools for you to compete. I'm telling you, and this is a reality, it's not to scare you. The Zillows gobbling up, right? They're getting to people before we even know about it. You're like, well, I'm not seeing it because it never hits the market. You might see it after the market gets online, right? Offer pad and all those, they go and list it. Guess who they're not listing it with? You. Oh, they'll have an agent, but it'll be an employee. They make no money on it, right? And it's totally a functionary. Know the difference between a functionary and a fiduciary. And real estate is more complex just to go sell it online. I promise you, that is, people are going to want to for help. If you got in trouble with the law, what are you going to do? I'm going to call an attorney. I'm going to call a really good one too. If I have a pain and I can't walk, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to a doctor. I'm not going to do that online. Okay. And I'm going to go to a specialist to give me a perspective. So remember, now you're on, this isn't surgery, right? Or this isn't life and death. And yet we're dealing with people with the largest investment they typically have in their, it's important that we do this and give them the tools and the research and say, I have that too. Oh, you want an offer? Zillow's doing it. I can do that for you. And I'll walk you through the process.
We got a question from the.
Go ahead.
What is the impact of all this regarding to the buyer's agent? Because we've been talking about seller's agent, people that have inventory and all that stuff. What about the impact of the buyer agent who is trying to get a property for somebody? Zillow and Keller Williams, cash offer took over.
Well, in that case, when they're buying it, there is no buyer's agent. So you get there first, so you can be the agent, right? So now that property is going to be relisted at some point, and a buyer's agent will have to buy it on the, because typically on the Keller Offers, it's a flip, right? They buy it, they'll do some improvements, if any, and they'll turn around and resell it because there's a margin. So there's an opportunity for that sale. It's not just one sale. You're typically looking at two. It's a quick purchase. We get you out of the house. We get you the money you need to move on. Then it's minor repairs typically, right? And there's some properties that do not qualify in these iBuyer programs. One is Keller. If you list a property and you can't sell it for 2 months, and then you go, ooh, I have this product, they're not interested because you already revealed what it's worth. Or there is some certain price points that are just not advantageous for these iBuyer programs. And typically, what do we see that over 500? 600 in Houston.
So some of the people online asked Manesh if you can post the links to Keller Offers inside of our KWSW pages.
Sure, absolutely.
We'll do that, and then we'll get a schedule of the classes. If you're just one of those person, I need it scheduled and I want to go take the Zoom. Okay. Yes. How's that prospecting going?
It's going great.
Good,
We're doing
good.
wonderful, right? Yes, we're
Okay,
doing
cool.
good. My question is, if I'm certified as an iBuyer agent and the process closed, will Keller Offers allow me to do the listing once it's rehabbed, or how do they list it back on the market?
Okay, that's a great question. All right, so originally when the program started, that was the case, and that's probably where that question is coming from. Okay, so originally when it came out, that was the thing where you basically were double ending it. You sold, your seller sold it to Keller Offers where you represented them, and then you turned around and you listed it. You got a fraction of the commission on both sides. That's when we had one investor partner. Now we have about 4 investing partners. So you actually can get up to 4 offers when you submit. Okay, so there's been some improvements to the program. And in that improvement, they found that it was just more feasible for us to just be on the first transaction when we sell, because it depends on who purchases the house, right? Which investor is purchasing the house. And then the resale side is entirely on them now. Okay, but as far as which, yes, can that be a little upsetting because we don't have the listing now? Yes. Yet financial perspective, we're actually probably getting at least the same minimum or more now. Okay, from a financial perspective as the agent.
Yeah, good question.
Good question, yes.
Any other questions on this? How many of this just went over your head and go, I have no idea what you're even talking about? Anyone? Y'all get,
And that's okay.
you get the importance of it, right? So Keller Williams, yes, Nikki.
We have one of the agents in the PC that's actually using the Keller
Ready to sell?
And, she told me that she had to qualify, the listing has to qualify
Sure.
for them to come in and do it. And it's approximately a month to get everything ready. So it's not a super long
Sure.
time.
Mhm.
So I'll tell you, it should be listed in a couple of weeks. I'll have an
Okay.
update on that.
Oh, good, great.
And we
she
got
was
people that are
extremely
walking through
happy
this process.
And said it was really, really easy and intuitive, and that were very, very nice and helping in the process. So I would encourage everybody to use that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the great thing is it's hands-free. Like your seller doesn't have to worry about anything. They come in it, they design it, they have their team that comes in and does the renovation. There's no third party that you have to, contact.
Okay, any other questions on the Keller Offers? And any of them could be Keller Offers, could be the Keller Ready. Is that what we call it? Ready?
But it's still Keller Offers ready to sell.
Ready to sell. It could be Keller Mortgage, could be Keller Covered. Keller Mortgage is our mortgage company that you go to. It's more of a virtual, right? And what we're trying to do is gobble up and keep people away from going to Rocket Mortgage or to a big bank. Have you ever closed a deal with Rocket Mortgage on the other side? Yeah, how was that? Yes. Okay, and they go there because of the advertising, what they do. Oh, what is Rocket Mortgage going to do? They're going to grab these consumers on that end, and then they have their preferred agents that they send them to. We got to get to our clients first and give them a gamut what we need to. There's always going to be a need for an AMCAP and an in-house mortgage. Always, right? That's not going away because some people need a face-to-face. Some people will just do it virtually, but there's a money advantage when you can do that as well with the Keller coverage. There's Keller Offers, right? That's an insurance program because collectively with everybody coming together, we can get good property insurance and do it collectively. These are just all the tools that you have along with the technology piece. Quickest way to learn about it is just let us know. When you see those and you don't know about them, dig in. That's the way our industry is going, like it or not. And yet what's different about you driving it is you are the the fiduciary. You can walk people through this and give them, look, let's look at it. Let's roll it out. Here are your options. That's how I like to purchase things. I want to know all my options and which way I need to go, and then I'll make a decision. But I'm going to simplify it too. Educators complicate, leaders simplify. If you want to be the second leader, right, you simplify this process along the way. There's more information online than ever before. People think they know their value of their home and they really don't. And we got to walk them through it and really be the expert and be the economist of choice. Okay. Anything else on that? That was a good filler for,
That's pretty good.
now we almost like Kathy. Kathy's still saying she's on her way. So she might pull around.
She's watching this and,
Is
and it's
she?
like, okay.
Okay.
No, I don't
Okay.
know.
They've got it.
I don't know. I don't know if she did well. All right. Any other topics or question on that? That was a lot right there. There's some great tools. And then there's somebody that's not watching me that's going to call me tomorrow and ask them to explain this all to them.
Yep.
That never happens in the PC program, right, Nikki? You teach a class and then the next, that afternoon, somebody calls and asks you a question, something you just covered in a class.
They say, oh, we should have a class on that.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Anything else in those regards? Any other questions you have before Kathy gets here? Anything? Unplug. Yes. Yeah.
Regarding the Keller Mortgage, and so I had a recent experience with Rocket Mortgage. So-
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sure.
But they gave me within an hour, I think they gave me like a conditional, they call it conditional pre-approval letter. So I was able to use that to make an offer on the house that same night.
Yeah.
Does Keller have something like that fast or?
So let me give you a little bit of a story when I was in full production. When I first used Keller Offers, when it first came about, I actually called a loan officer that I had not met yet at 3 or 4 p.m. Sunday. Okay. Asked them, look, I need this. We want to put an offer in tonight. I apologize. It's Sunday. Is there something you can do? He's like, well, send me your client's email address. I gave it to him. He sent him, my client, the link. My client, within about an hour, filled out everything and sent the supporting documents. By 6 p.m. on a Sunday, we had a pre-approval letter. So yes, they can have the same turnaround time. Now, obviously, details matter, right? If your client is on a W-2, it's easier, right? It's easier to, sort through that. If they're self-employed, then that may take a little more digging, more documents, a little longer. But so situationally it matters. But yes, if it's in the right situation, they can have it to you just as fast.
And typically your loan officers here, if you have a good relationship with them and your people have the information, they can get a pre-approval just as fast. So it's about the relationship and it's about the amount of information that somebody gives. It does not take them long to pull that. The difference between a Keller mortgage is that you can choose your own loan officer and they're going to receive some money back. So the incentives for that are, off the top of your head.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So they're going to have the same, qualifying rate that they'll qualify for. Your client will. At the same time, though, there will be no lender fees, no origination fees. Okay. So there's, sometimes you'll see a 1% origination fee. There's none of that, and it does not interfere with your interest rate. That's purely a perk for Keller Mortgage. And on top of that, as long as your loan is over 150,000, they give you $1,000 back at closing, $1,000 credit at closing to your client. It's definitely worth, it definitely should be an option in your tool.
Yeah, options, right? You got tools in your arsenal to go about as well. We were in an ALC meeting yesterday, and one of the topics is all the agents in the office know that all the resources that are at your disposal, right? And if you go back into it, I got in the business in here in 2007. We had nothing, right? We had a class called Camp 443. Norman was teaching it. That's how old Norman is, right? No. And yet at your disposal, that was kind of just thrown together. All the resources and tools that you have, we didn't have a PC program, right? We didn't have people that were on call to answer your questions. We kind of just figured this out along the way. And we didn't have any of this, the tools that are needed as in Keller Offers, the Make Ready, right? The mortgage company, all at your disposal. And I got a great relationship with loan officers here, right? I give them plenty of business and I will also tell them this is the direction that we're going. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have one from online. Does Keller Mortgage work with Texas first-time home buyer programs that help with down payment?
Down payment assistance. To be honest with you, the best thing to do is to get in touch with the loan officer and ask them. It could be a case-by-case basis. If it's available, they're definitely a fully licensed lending, an MLS company. So I'm sure it's available to them. Again, though, that's kind of outside our scope. It's best to contact them to find out.
Yeah, and you can choose your own loan officer inside of Keller Mortgage. That was something that they did. Unlike a Rocket Mortgage, you just get whoever get.
You get a customer service representative.
You're right. Yes, or whoever has the file along the way and the delay of it as well. Visiting with the ALC too yesterday, they're just giving us a little feel of the market right now. And here's a theme that they said going on the market. And I shared this a little bit last week, right? The amount of showings that we're seeing on properties has decreased, right? The amount of days on market is slightly increasing. Now, are we saying that's because that's a typical kind of slowdown in July, right before school? People got busy and they're not moving as far? Could be, right? But we're just going to really pay attention to that. Still, we're still in a lack of inventory. We're still in a seller's market, but just be on a rise. And we do still see some sellers that are unreasonable on the price. They watched it online and they think they can get that price. So the reality is when we talk to people, we got to make sure that we get there, we tell them the truth, and we got to really articulate the price. Everybody go, yay, Kathy! Wait, come on up. We've been waiting for Kathy. It's gonna be so good, right on the spot. She loves it. I mess with her. And this is Kathy's favorite thing to do, by the way. You have to come up here and stand because we got like 50 plus online too. So it doesn't look big. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. 1 second. I'm so sorry. 1 second.
Okay. Kathy, she's looking for a bag. Kathy has been an agent in our office. She's going to tell her story a little bit on and off as well. Serves as our AOC. Has been the #1 producer. She does well in farming a particular area. It's called Sugar Creek that she owns a lot of, right? That she does well. She's a little out of sorts. I'll let her tell the story. What happened this week that was a big impact on you?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, you make me cry.
No crying.
My eldest went to college. Well, we took her up there and it was, I don't know, more traumatic than I thought it would
Yeah,
be.
that's an impact. Okay, so we'll give you grace on that as well. Did you cry as much as your husband?
No,
Okay,
no.
and he's a tough little guy. You never even think it. I asked my wife, did Alan go? She goes, you never know. And he goes, yeah, he was a mess. This is the
He was a
report.
mess. Yeah,
Okay,
he was a mess.
great. All right, let's just jump into it and give us a little, who's Kathy? Give us a little background story and give us a little glimpse of what your business looks like today.
Okay, so, I read your questions. You sent me some questions, so I kind of would be prepared. And the first one was like, well, what'd you do before real estate? Or who were you? What was your life like, I guess? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's it. Yeah, tell us.
Well, I kind of didn't like the question because I'm like, I don't have.
When we did
anything
Audra, what did she
fabulous to
say?
tell.
I didn't like any of the questions that you
Oh.
sent me. So go ahead.
Oh,
Yes.
no, I liked
Yes.
them all
Okay,
except for
great.
that one. That
Okay,
one was
great.
like a hard one to start with
Yeah.
because to be honest, I was kind of a late bloomer. I kind of messed around and did some stuff, I was a personal trainer and I was like worked in a restaurant. I was a manager of a steakhouse downtown. I think that real estate called to me because in my late 20s, because of the unlimited opportunity.
Unlimited opportunity, a little bit of freedom. You could do it your way.
Yeah, I think some of and don't mistake freedom for, some people say they want to get in this business because it's flexible or they have flexibility. And that's kind of an interesting observation that sometimes isn't too accurate. My dad was in real estate. To be fair, I was exposed to it early on and worked in his office when I was in college. And I don't know.
What city was that?
It was in Austin. It was in Austin. And I guess Gary was just getting started at that point. That was actually early 80s. And when I finally did make the decision to get into real estate, I joined Keller Williams in '94 and loved it. And I hooked up with Keller Williams at a time when they were not their infancy, but they were still very young. Gary was very accessible then. I had the honor of being in some of his classes and realizing how out of the box he was thinking and how that gave me hope that my dreams would come true.
Okay. So you got it in the early 90s. Give us a glimpse of what your business looks like today.
Yeah. So today I would call my business dependable, which is not exciting. I have a very steady production, I guess. I think my trials and tribulations now are more people related than real estate related. And I think as you go in this business and you realize you want to leverage yourself into something bigger, there's a component that I guess we think about, but we don't put as much stock into it as we need to. And that is the people component. So, building a team, creating something that works, tearing it apart, building it again, has become kind of what I've been up to as of late.
Well, I asked you yesterday to do it and you said, do you really want me? And why is that?
I guess, I think I'm on just the edge of really creating something fabulous that I can look back and be proud of. I'm just 90% there and I'm not sure that I have any great perspective at the moment other than things not to do.
Well, you're a work in progress still to this day.
Oh, I think we always
Yeah,
are.
sure.
I think we always are. I think, after being in the business this long, I'm looking to create something I can not walk away from, but that I can still nurture and not be as present as I am. And that's the goal. The goal is to have a life after real estate and still have it be.
So
working
this
for me.
summer, you worked a lot of hours.
I think we all did. I think
Okay.
this was an unprecedented weirdness that we've never seen.
So tell us about that. Give us your perspective on the market that we're this summer.
Well, I mean, so we were all excited, yes, because we had so many buyers and, let's put the sign in the yard and you're done, right? But then being shorthanded a little bit towards the end of this big rush of business, I found myself in my business quite a bit with negotiating, and I realized that, wow, having the market as strong as it was fabulous, but having to present 16 offers on spreadsheets became, I don't know, a business all in itself.
So it was brutal at times is a good way to put it.
Right. I mean, you wouldn't expect, you'd be like, oh, we could be on the top of the world. This is what we wait for. This is
Yeah.
what we wish for as listing agents. This is our heyday. I'm almost kind of looking forward to some calm, some normalcy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us where's this market heading?
Oh, so we've never seen this. So, I've been in the business a long time. I don't want to keep beating that dead horse, but seen it do this. And if you look at a 20-year, graph, if you will, or a 30-year graph, you can set your watch by what real estate does, right? I mean, you know it's going to go up and it's going to come down, and the down is usually 18 months, 24 months at the most. And it's almost an algorithm that you can depend on. But when you throw this in, this COVID and this migration that was caused by a number of things, I don't know how to decide what to expect. Are we going to see a huge downswing? Are we going to see just a little bit of downswing? You told me that you had heard and read and were talking to people that were saying that, this area was undervalued for a long time, and that a lot of this appreciation will stay and stick. And that's kind of by the way, a good angle if the market does shift and you're still trying to list homes and people are saying,
My KPA though, I'm a total optimist, by the way, I live in that
but
land.
you know what, that's okay. That's
Yes,
okay. And
right.
you know what, that gives you things to tell people when
Sure.
they're reluctant to, we've already seen the rise, and now we're down on the downswing, and you're getting pushback from people wanting to list, saying, well, that heyday is over. Now we're in a time that we're not going to see a good return. Well, some experts are saying that this appreciation will stick. It will be in place. We won't see a depreciation. Now we'll wait and see, but
Well,
I'm going with that.
Well, here's my analogy is that this summer we were going 90 down the interstate, and we're about ready to come over a little peak, right? We're kind of at it. And we can't tell you exactly what's on the other curve. Could be a state trooper there, causes us all to slow down a little bit, could pull us all over, or there's nobody there and we just keep flying. And you're like, man, that's not a lot of certainty. And that is, yet we're in real estate, right? And you hear all sorts of stuff if we're going to buy and you're going to stay in that home 5 to 10 years, there's nothing better to invest in real estate. Would do it all day long. I would buy a property tomorrow if it's what it met my needs and what I needed, I'd buy a property. Would you agree with that?
I agree 100%.
Yep. The best way to beat inflation is what? Owning real estate. That's the number one thing. So if you hear news of inflation, all this. Now, what we don't know is, are the feds going to raise interest rates? That could have a little impact on us. Does that scare you in any of this?
No.
No. Why is that?
Well, it doesn't scare me. It just makes me want to get in gear.
Yeah.
And it's a numbers game, and it's a discipline, and it's a consistency that has to happen. And I can say this, through the ups and downs of the years I've been in real estate, my greatest accomplishment, I think, was being able to have a steady income and a steady production regardless of the market. And that is something I don't want to say proud of, but I would say
You
that
should be
that's
proud of that, yeah.
something that we have accomplished. And I almost, being that I have a competitive nature, almost like the downturns. It kind of gives me something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because anybody can make money now, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So-
still hard along the way. Okay. So what's next for you?
Next for me, like in the next week, in the next month.
Next 18 to 18 months to 2 years.
Okay. Still working on bringing together an amazing group of people to put my plans into action.
Sounds so simple, isn't it?
Right.
What makes today's age and talent and people, what makes it so difficult?
You know, I kind of need to step back and kind of look at this whole COVID migration, stay at home because the government's paying me whatever that is, that has created a little bit of a different atmosphere with hiring and attracting the right people. To decide if that had some effect on the troubles that I don't say troubles that we were having, obstacles that we're seeing, or that I'm seeing with having enough good people on the team. So what was the question? I was reflecting.
What's next?
Yeah, what's next? So next is more training and more focusing. We just finished that 12-week year. Liking that concept a lot, embracing that concept. It kind of goes with my whole discipline of doing everything the same. Well, they say never do everything the same way every day, but if it's working, you do. So we just having a discipline and doing the same thing every day. So what's next for me? I'm planning to increase the business by at least 50% in the next 12 months. And then in the next 24 months, we'd like to be twice what we did last year.
Okay, awesome. All right, I didn't set this up as a question. So Kathy is very good at marketing and farming and owning a particular area. So you go back to that area, Vicksburg, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That was a long time ago.
Okay, everybody know where Vicksburg is? You guys are the real estate experts, and you were in there, and yet you started to gain market share. How'd that happen?
I wrote notes, I dropped packages, every day, I don't know where everybody is in real estate, but I can tell you my first months and weeks and months in real estate, a lot of free time, I felt,
Yeah.
And we didn't have all the training that is available now. I mean, we had some training.
Yeah.
Our office was tiny. I just hit the road. I made these packages for expired listings. And I just put my crap in there, some printed crap, and I'm sorry, but that's what it looks like now.
Yes.
Things about, just put a package together that had some relevant information, I'll say, but it looks like crap now. So, dropping those off at people's doors, following up with phone calls, that's really how I got my foot in the door.
Yeah.
And sending a card out every month. And I started with my, that farm, and also my list of people I invited to my wedding. And that was just relentlessly.
So you go back and you get your first listing in Vicksburg, and you just milk it for everything it was worth. And that's where you learn the power of having a listing.
Right. So yeah, that's your commerce. That's your storefront, without the signs in the yard. They have an energy. Every sign in every yard has an energy that's spinning around it. It's opportunity. It's people calling. It's people emailing about that house or just asking questions. It's opportunity to get in front of people. It's a product. Like anything else, if you have a product to sell, you're going to attract people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And you believe in open houses?
Open houses are the best way the cheapest way and the most effective way to be in front of people.
Awesome. All right. What's one thing that you want this group to hear? You can still sell a lot of real estate and you don't have to show up on time when it comes to it. I'm just messing with
I
you.
had a doctor's appointment and like he was so late anyway.
Okay. So what's the
Sorry.
one thing you want to leave the group with?
Oh
As
gosh.
they had an opportunity to listen to you and you're going to part some wisdom. What's the one thing they got to know?
I hate the word discipline because it scares people. Let's talk about consistency. Let's talk about faith and consistency and doing the same thing every day. Things that are proven to work, don't give up because it will all of a sudden avalanche on you after just a little bit. Just reflecting on my first few months
Yeah.
and how it felt, and I don't know where everybody is in their business. So it's really,
But you
I don't
got a
wanna-
whole spectrum
yeah,
here,
I mean,
right?
it's like, it's consistency.
Yeah.
It's not, if you don't get into real estate because it's flexible, don't do that. I mean, you get into real estate because you can make as much money as you can make, which is awesome.
Yeah, you have a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, Norman, read that question to me, please. Online, we have a question. We'll have time for one or two questions. So if you have one out there as well.
All right.
Go ahead.
The question is, what are your thoughts about buying leads? As a new agent, we are inundated with emails, phone calls to purchase leads.
Yep, great question.
Gosh, I don't know, depending on cost, we always looking at our bottom line and rate of return, on investment, return on investment. We are currently, in a way, buying leads online. We get to IDX leads. I think that anybody that is raising their hand saying that they're looking at real estate is a lead, by the way. So I think that buying leads is fine as long as you are committed to working them systematically.
Yeah. And yet what I'd follow up with, if you're not committed to your sphere and you're not committed to working open houses, which we know it is, and you jump in to buy, and that's a hard way to do it. That's when you're exhausting your sphere, your wedding list, right? Or your farm, your neighbors, then go look at an additional lead piece.
Right. I think, yeah, definitely you have enough in your personal people that your neighborhood, that you could work systematically and make a very good living. Buying leads, agents are confused about that, thinking, oh, it's a lead. They want that instant gratification. And you have to work those leads systematically. They will not all bloom. A good number of them will bloom. It's just not going to be as soon as you want it. And you have to, like I said, work them systematically and have a follow-up system. Because what you've done with these leads is, and this is what I tell my team, they're like, oh, those leads are no good. Well, they've actually raised their hand, even if they come to an open house or they've even looked online to see the value of their home, whatever it is, they have shown some interest in real estate value. They're more than likely looking to make a move to a purchase or sale. They have already separated themselves from the masses. So if you think about all the people out there, now you have a group of people who are somewhat interested in what things are selling for. So I think you're ahead of the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Questions? Got one or two out here? Robbie? Going back in time, just to repeat that, and any improvement, like you said, you made a couple mistakes, right?
Well, are we talking about systems or are we talking about conversion? When I go back in time, my head goes all the way back to the beginning. That's just what it does right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tell my team, if I could change anything about how I started in this business and how I know that I would have been more successful a lot faster. First of all, I felt like I had to know everything, and you don't have to know everything because you have people around you that know everything that you need to know. So don't let fear get in your way of follow through. And the other is, don't be afraid to ask questions of the people that you are trying to do business with. It's the most powerful, empowering thing that you can do. We are often taught as kids or even young adults, to be polite, you don't ask certain questions of people. You don't understand people's motivations well enough unless you have asked enough questions. And we have a list of questions, and we don't hand off leads until every question on that list has been answered. So you know who you're working with, you know their motivation, and you know whether or not to spend your time with them. Very often you are wasting time hoping somebody buys or lists, right? You're doing like this rather than asking questions to make sure. And
But
while you're
haven't you
doing-
learned the more questions you ask, the more drawn people are to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It puts you in control of the situation. People feel that you're more professional in that respect. And also you're focusing on people that are more than likely going to close a deal with you. And when you're off here working with somebody that you're hoping is going to do something, you're missing opportunities. I don't know, that was a roundabout answer, but I think if I had had the confidence and the know-how early on, and somebody to tell me that, I don't really didn't have as much guidance then, I feel like that would have been a game changer.
So I'm hearing is there, don't walk around eggshells. Ask the question that you want. You're actually helping people when you get, and don't, I think of this as a great leader that says this, we're not water skiing. We got to scuba dive. We got to go deep. And the only way you do that with questions. Because the more you do listing presentations, I imagine it's more about questions you ask than actually pulling out this fancy presentation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
fact, I don't pull it out. I leave it there for them ahead of time, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
So they can go over it if they want, but really the listing presentation or listing appointment is more about me understanding what they're up to so that I can know what to do.
Okay. One more? Yes, one more question. Go ahead.
Besides the open houses, I'm a new agent, so I don't have any current listings. What would be the most effective tool that I can use if I'm trying to farm an area? Like, would it, and I don't have a lot of money for mailers right now, would it just be like the door knocking? And if so, like what would I give them, in your opinion?
Information.
Just general.
And people want information. They want something of value. So a value proposition. If you don't have money for mailers, door knocking, I don't know, gets weird lately with the ring and the people on next door saying that some crazy lady came to my door and they put you up online. Just whatever happens. Gosh, open houses are fabulous because you connect with people, and I don't want to go back to that because you're asking for something in addition to. But let me ask you something. If you're doing open houses, are you connecting with everybody that's coming in that house? So let me give you some mindset. Let me give you some perspective. You are holding an open house for a seller, correct? And it's someone else's listing, that's fine, but they're indebted to that seller. So anybody walking through that door, you have a right to know who they are and some information about them. So set yourself up with that understanding so you're not as shy. You have a duty to the seller to be able to tell him who's walking through his or her house. I'm just telling you that as a mindset. People, they want to be shy with that. I don't want to ask questions. Well, they have come into a private home and that seller has every right to know who's there, as do you. It's a scary place. It's a scary world. You need to know who's there. Now, I'm telling you that to give you permission to ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can. Now put the shoe on the other foot. If you walked into a house, an open house, and an agent asked you a bunch of questions, would you be offended? Okay, well, just remember, when you feel like, oh, I don't want to ask that, I don't want to go there. You know what? You're not doing anything that's offending anybody. You're doing your job. And by doing your job, you're going to have control over the situation, and you are going to create better relationships with everybody that walks through the door.
Absolutely. You're going to draw more people to you. And if somebody does get offended, I don't want them walking through the house, and we
Mm-mm.
certainly don't want to be working with them.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I think we forget that. I think if we can just remember who we're working for at that point, it gives you every right to ask every question. Door knocking is fine if you're comfortable with it. I don't want to dissuade you from that. A call to action, even if it's a personal note. Hey, I'm a realtor in your neighborhood, and if you need to know the value of your home, give me a call. Or may I call you? Whatever. Yeah, something like that. Always remember when you were always real big on giving our cards out, right? It's like, oh, we're going to give this person my card and they're going to call me. No, they're not. So remember, I don't even carry cards around. If I meet somebody, I get their information. That way I have control of the situation. So I'm just saying, if you're Home Depot, I mean, you can give your card out, but what's more important is getting their information so that
right.
you can be in the driver's seat.
Okay. We'll end on that.
Okay.
Thank you for making it here. I'm glad you did. That's Kathy Stubbs. That's all we got. All right. Let's get our vendor partners up here. Who's coming?
Me.
All right, let's go.
Hey guys, it's Melissa from
I'm walking
downstairs.
with you.
Patent title. So today I am just going to talk about a grand opening we're having September 8th to reintroduce everyone who hasn't been downstairs to meet everyone at Patent Title. To Patent Title, we're going to have drinks and food and all that good stuff, door prizes. We're going to have a lot of fun. So we have grown, we have expanded, and we're bringing in heavy hitters. And we now have a new escrow officer, in addition to the already great staff we have, and an escrow assistant. And I wanted,
So you can see you on the camera.
I wanted to introduce them. Holly came from Old Republic. Yes. And Marianne came from Patton in the Galleria office. So if you just want to say hi and tell them about yourself.
Hi, so I'm Holly Nettles. Like she said, I came from Old Republic. I've been in the title industry since 2000, so it's been a long time. And I'm excited to join the team downstairs.
Hi, my name is Marianne. As Holly mentioned, I am from the Galleria office of Patent Title. I've been in title not too long, but super excited of everything that I've learned so far. And we are so happy and excited to show you our service. If you ever need any have any questions, any doubts, lessons, anything, we're happy to help.
So May Wish is still here. She had her baby about a week ago. And Julie's on medical leave until the 19th. Tiffany's still here. Leslie's here. Angie's here. So we have a full staff now. So we're ready to see you guys, and I'll send out a formal invitation on September 8th. Oh, and I have my real estate fun fact. I can't forget that real quick. I always give them a real estate fun fact. So this week's fun fact is Central Park is 848 acres, which translates to over 39 million square feet. At $1,000 per square foot, Central Park is worth over $39 trillion. Thank you. Have a good day. Yes.
So as you, what do you offer to our agents and assistants when they open houses? First, can you give us
Fly.
surveys or whatever, so as
Sir.
our agent, you don't get to choose too many. So
Yeah.
how do you have the buyer agent?
Do you mean like a survey, like welcome to my open house, fill out this? Sure, we can no, that is something we can absolutely do because it's generic and it wouldn't violate P53. So that's a really good suggestion, and I'm gonna get on that today. So I will have that to you in Patent Solutions. We just fill out a little form and we're gonna have that. And then also, as far as buyer broker open houses, we can help you as much as you want for those. And I would be more than willing to get with anyone if you guys did want to have a broker open house. But as far as buyer agent open houses, I would be more than willing to help, staying in the guidelines. And if whoever wants to call me to kind of figure out what we can do and ideas and things like that, I would be more than happy to, but I'm right on that. You're welcome. Anything else? I think it's like 11:30 to 3. Yeah, but I'll send out a formal invitation and I'll put it in the on the Facebook page and all that good stuff. And I'll make sure it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, so you're seeing the changes now. We have patent title on the door now. We're getting it behind Giselle's desk. Everyone knows Giselle. She's so fabulous. And we're getting new floors, new furniture, things like that, and adding to our staff with amazing help like this. So we're fully staffed now, and you know, we'll always be there to answer your calls and phone and emails. Now, because we're fully staffed, we can take the time. One person's calling, one person's answering and sending emails. And we worked really hard on that because it has been a struggle with May Wish out and Julie gone and things like that. So, you know, things now we're all together so we can service everything you guys need. So anything you need, just reach out to me or any one of us. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the shirts are really soft too.
Good afternoon. My name is Yu Yilin. I've been working for Reliance for 10 years, okay? So I can connect electricity for your clients. We pay for you for your referral, okay? So most of the time it's really easy, just exchange information between me and your clients. And then sometimes they require the agent do some effort, okay? Like I have an agent supplement. First time she refer me somebody, so it did not work for first sale, but she keep going, okay? Then I close all the sale after that, okay? The last sale I had, the customer cannot understand me really well, but the customer did not tell me about that, but she tell the agent. And then the agent called me up. I say, oh, can you, when you call her, can you talk slowly? And then she tell the customer, oh, try it one more time. If you cannot understand her, text her or email her. So it worked, okay? So sometimes you need to do some extra things, okay? But most of the time, my coaching way is pretty good, okay? So you get referral for electricity, you get, after you set them up, you can get $75 referral. Home security is $250, okay? So would you like to write down my phone number? Put it down on your phone. 713.
We need a new one.
Bigger one. 713-898.
898, right?
Yeah, 8043.
8043.
UEYUYILIN. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
All right, appreciate it, you.
You're welcome.
All right, buddy, stage is all yours. Come on up. Apologize, operator.
All right, let me introduce Scott Sacheri.
That is not me.
That is Ian.
It's Sakiri.
Such good. All right, there you go, sir.
Yeah, so this is Ian. He wasn't feeling well today, so we decided that it was probably not great for him to bring lunch to you guys. So I'm Ian's boss. I'm the agency owner with Goosehead Insurance. I've owned the franchise for about 8 years. So when I used to do these meetings back then, I would say I was with Goosehead and everybody would look at me and say, you know, Goose, what? And now it's like, okay, I met 10 of your guys yesterday. So we know that we're kind of all over the place. We've been in business a long time. I wanted to make a announcement that Goosehead just came out with today. It's called a digital rater, which is actually for you guys. So we email you a link and you can send it to your clients, or you can use it yourself. If you have a buyer or a listing, you can type the address in and it'll run it just like I'm running it through all of our 30 insurance companies and give you a comparative rate on all of those, and also run the flood zone for you guys too, to let you know if it's in a flood zone. So kind of takes the middleman out of you having to have the customer call the insurance person, get a quote. You can actually just type in the address and do it yourself. Where when we talk to the client, we'll go through coverages and all and make sure, but it'll at least give you an idea of what to expect for insurance costs for a house you're trying to sell, or that one that you're, trying to help a buyer buy. So I think that'll be really helpful for that. So I'll give you some cards. You can email me and I'll email you that link. And that'll help. And then I also wanted to mention, with hurricane season coming on, has anybody ever dealt with trying to have a client close on a house and a moratorium be in place because of a hurricane coming through? Yeah, so we deal with that this time of year a lot, where we get a lot of emergency, hey, that storm's coming, we need to get a binder on this. So just kind of reminder to stress the importance to your clients to get in touch with the insurance company early so that they can get their quotes, get a binder, because once the binder's in place, we can change the date, make changes to it to where they can still close on the house on time, as opposed to waiting and having to wait 3 days after the storm, get it re-inspected and stuff like that in order for them to close. So just a reminder to do that, to get them in touch early. Enjoy lunch. And again, you'll see a lot of Ian, hopefully, because we're in spring, but we have guys everywhere. So we're excited to get out here and meet you guys. So I really appreciate you having us out, and look forward to meeting every one of you. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it, bud. Thanks for that. Awesome, guys. Well, appreciate y'all. Sorry, team meeting ran a little longer today, but hopefully it was full of a lot of information. I surely think it was. Enjoy lunch for those of you on here. Enjoy the rest of your day that's online. Take care, guys.